we get a break? Can I take a
Yeah,
potty
we'll
break?
take a break. Do I supposed to do, voting and discussion and all that?
We had
Yes,
the vote
ma'am.
to come out.
Come out, no votes taken executive session. And then we gotta vote on the,
Oh, no votes was
hire.
taken in executive session. So we'll come on.
Yeah, we could save money by bumping up that heat.
How they cutting it out, you save a whole lot of money.
Madam
Okay.
Chair, I make a motion that we come out of executive session.
It's been moved
I'll make a second.
and second that we come out of executive session. Can I get a vote? It's approved that we come out of executive session.
And I think we're taking.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we adjourn the committee of the whole meeting for the evening.
Second.
I didn't know we was working on no committee of the whole.
That's what we just finished, yes, ma'am. So let's just take a vote
I
on it.
thought
Mr.
we-
K.
No, we're adjourning from committee of the whole, and then we'll do another meeting. Yes, ma'am.
We have our
That's
special
right.
call board
That's right.
meeting.
All in,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nay? No nay, so we're out.
Yes.
And, Miss,
as soon
Then
as
we need a
Mr.
motion.
Zug
Oh,
gets
we
back,
moved.
we can.
oh, Zug, I forgot. Okay.
And then we'll do this meeting. That's the meeting.
Meeting tonight.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Special call board meeting.
So, okay, let me get this together. So, she's gonna talk about this now. She's gonna talk about this now.
Yes.
Yes,
And then we're
ma'am.
gonna go back into a meeting to talk about what? What she just talked about?
We have to vote on it, yes, ma'am. We couldn't vote on the committee of the whole, so.
But I didn't think you could vote tonight. We had to vote at our
We have a
meeting.
special call
That's why
board
it's a
meeting.
special
That's why we
call.
can vote.
Okay.
It is.
Oh, Mr. Zug didn't come back.
Okay.
Well, that's okay.
You got a parent note?
Tell me something good. Waiting on Miss Hurd to come up.
No, ma'am, she's
No,
ready to go.
everybody's
Yes, ma'am.
ready.
Make a motion, we get going back into a general session.
Is there any discussion on that?
Second.
Second the motion. Raise your hand for voting.
Thank you.
Madam Chair. Point of
Yes.
order. We don't need to vote to go into a special call board meeting.
Sorry about that.
No
I
problem, sir.
stand corrected.
No problem, sir.
I thought we was already in whatever.
All right, so yes, heard.
Just pick up with the new agenda.
Okay, we're gonna
Yes,
pick
ma'am.
up with the new
That's
agenda.
right, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
We have to do the
Before
pledge,
she-
the whole nine.
Before she even
Yes,
talk.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, call to order. I welcome you here again this morning. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Approval of this agenda.
Madam Chair, I make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Second. It's been moved in second that we approve this agenda by hand, vote of hand. All
Unanimous.
nine is good. Action item, A 51-2025-2026. Budget items.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Chair. As we discussed in the committee of the whole, Ms. Hurd is going to come so that we can vote on each line item so that she then can get the budget ready for your first reading on next Tuesday.
Do what now?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were voting tonight on the budget so that it can be presented
To the county board.
to the county board.
Well, we have to decide what you all want to do for each of the items. I've presented my recommendation,
Mhm.
and then there was some discussion in the committee of the whole about those recommendations.
So I would suggest that we vote on each questionable item
Yes, sir.
during the open session so that we can finally get to a budget that we can vote on
Yes, sir, that's what we plan to do. Yes,
and
sir.
vote on it
Right
tonight.
now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we will start. So, I guess the first item
Can you share that
is-
with us?
It's not on our screen.
Thanks. Is this what you're talking about?
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Craig.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm acting like a first grader today or kindergarten.
The first item that will need a vote is millage increase. I'm sorry, Dr. Kelly.
No,
This
that's
is the
fine.
first time that we have done it this way, so if I am not doing it in a manner that you guys like, please stop me and I'll be happy to, do this however you would like. But, the first item that will need a decision would be the millage increase, which could be up to 4.38% or up to 8 meals. It was the original recommendation of the superintendent to not ask for millage.
Madam Chair, I make a motion we accept the superintendent's recommendation for 0 millage.
So moved.
Any discussion? Let's vote. You didn't vote, was it 8? I can't see down through there.
No.
It was 9. Oh, I was okay.
The next 5 or 6 items here are that it's just amounts provided to us by the state. So the next item of vote would be to collect the 4K funds that the schools collect for students that pay to be in our 4K program and move those over to the general fund. And that amount, just as a reminder, will depend on the number of students that are paying students. Our 4K program is the at-risk. Some years, we may have it full with at-risk students, and there may not be any funds that come in. Some years, if we're low, we may have more than 49,000. This was just looking at the current year for our collections.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the administration's recommendation for removing the 4K funds to the district.
So moved.
It's been so voted and second that we would go do this. So raise your hand for county. All in favor?
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
All right. The next item would be the bus driver salaries. We can do 2% state increase, 2% increase on the state bus driver scale or a 2% increase on the district salary schedule. Or
Okay.
anything in between, but it just has to be a minimum. We have to at least meet the minimum 2% on the state. That is required by state law.
Is that
Madam
the
Chair,
COLA,
I'm sorry.
the COLA one?
The
But
first one
yes.
is a 2%
That was my
on,
recommendation, but you have the option to do this one or that one or anything in between.
Your recommendation is COLA.
My recommendation
80
is bus driver COLA 2%,
Okay.
because that's on their current salary.
Thank
So
you.
they'll get a bigger raise with
Thank
that.
you.
Yes.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation and we move for the 2% on the COLAs, on the district schedule.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Can we get a vote? Unanimous.
okay, thank you. We'll keep moving right along. The rental payment, for the lights that will, it's not a rental payment, that's the utility cost for the lights that will be put up in the McCants gym parking lot.
This is, we're buying it outright, or we're renting it or what?
Leasing.
Leasing, okay. I make a motion that we accept the administrator's recommendation for the lighting for McCants.
A second.
Been moved and properly second. Can I get a vote? Unanimous.
The additional translator position,
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the recommendation for additional translator position.
Second.
It's Been properly second, could we get a vote?
That's all this.
Unanimous.
It's unanimous.
Okay. The next one would be to move the part-time staff at Robert Anderson to a full-time position in the front office.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion, we accept this position as presented by the superintendent, move a part-time to a full-time at Robert Anderson.
Second.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
I'll second it.
I've been moved and properly second. Could I get a hand after you read that? I got lost. Unanimous.
The next one is the 6 interventionist, which is what is recommended by Dr. Kelly in her budget for the middle school and high schools to each have a interventionist.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a recommendation that we approve the superintendent's recommendation for the 6 secondary interventionists in the middle and high school.
Second.
Second, could I get a vote? And it's unanimous.
Okay. The next one would be the 25 teaching assistants to go in the classroom.
Wasn't that number reduced because of the interventionist?
Yes,
Correct.
I did not
So-
make that recommendation.
I don't think we need to vote.
Yes, but
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we eliminate the 25 teaching assistants at a salary of $1,172,680.
I'll second that motion.
Oh, I am really, so you,
Madam Chair,
I hear what you're saying. So 25, you took,
additional assistance.
that's just additional, that's not the pay increase, that's
No.
just adding additional.
you just, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Kelly's gonna get,
She's getting the
interventionist.
6, yeah.
Oh, okay. I heard a second, and, could we vote? Unanimous.
Yes, all right.
Okay. The board compensation and the principal salaries changes have already been,
Voted on.
yes, ma'am, voted on, so those will already be included.
I'm
The-
gonna make a motion to change that,
Okay,
to deduct $13,200 reflecting 4 board members that voted against it, that won't take that pledged not to take that compensation, bringing it to $17,050. So I make a motion that the amount would be $17,050.
I know you made the motion, and I didn't really want nobody to second that, because if you're not taking the money, then, because we had to do 9, because it was 9 people on the
It needs to be
board.
approved for all 9 board
For
members.
all
but
9.
For simple fact, if new board members come in and they want to be paid, it
Yeah.
needs to be there, would be my opinion.
Yeah, that's my opinion too, because if somebody else come in, they gonna want it,
Well,
probably.
Whether you want to take it or not, it's up to the individual board members, but
Yeah.
we don't need to do just a show of face on recorded messages for everybody to look at.
Yeah,
I
all
mean,
these
that's just pure
faces are not
political.
getting paid.
That could be changed.
grandstanding.
That
Okay.
could be changed.
So-
That's
It is
political
not.
grandstanding.
Is there a
which-
second?
I hope not.
Can the motion be repeated? I'm sorry.
Yes, Mr. Dukes.
The motion is to deduct $13,200 from the $30,250, which reflects all 9. The $13,200 would be the 4 board members who pledged not to take that. Consequently, we don't need to have $30,000 budgeted for this year. This can be changed in next year's budget, of course. So the total would be $17,050.
But we haven't got the money yet. Can you say
But
could
you
be
plan it.
changed in next budget? But we don't know we're gonna get it anyway. We
Well,
don't know that
pardon
till
me.
If
May
that
15th.
doesn't-
Point of order, Madam Chair. I think there's a motion that has been put forth, and Mr. Thompson requested that the motion be repeated. I don't think we're at the point of discussion. We are at the point of motion, and we're waiting for a second.
I'll second it.
Now it's discussion time.
I like the point that, I mean, something could happen, somebody could resign or any number of things, and somebody coming in could want it, so. I
And you put them
appreciate-
on the spot, so I think leave it as is, and who takes it, wants to take it. It'll be public record who
It will
takes
show
it, so it
up
doesn't
in the
matter.
transparency report.
Yeah, it
Because, I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
you're not an
appreciate you.
employee, so your name will be listed as
Yeah.
receiving
I
a check.
appreciate you wanting to be as accurate as possible, Mr. Dukes.
Here's a question. If on May 15th, the Ethics Commission requires the board to take that compensation after the next general election, we're gonna keep that in there because that won't be until 2026.
That's right.
We'll,
So-
we'll,
Vote it back
we'll
in, I want that money.
deal with that when it gets here. We can always move it out of the budget to the general fund at any time.
Yeah, just like to make a point that the reason, and for those, I don't have a lot of people other than staff here now, people at home, I guess, the reason that it needs to go to the Ethics Commission and it's being looked at for after the general election, because the board really doesn't have the authority to vote itself a raise without its constituents.
Point of order. That's not factual.
Mm-mm, 'cause he said
Well,
It's not factual.
They have to-
It hasn't even been determined by the
That's the
Ethics
philosophy.
Commission.
That's the
It's your
philosophy.
opinion.
No, it's the
that-
philosophy of the Ethics Commission.
Whatever.
Okay.
And it's not a
Madam
raise,
Chair.
It's not a raise, it's just compensation. So we've already voted on it.
Correct.
We ready to vote?
Yes. Madam Chair, we're ready for a vote.
Really. We're voting,
You have to ask. All in favor of moving the figure from 30,251 to subtracting 13,000 something?
217,050.
Right. All in favor of doing that, raise your hand. 3.
we have
in favor.
3.
All not in favor?
6 and 3 is 9.
That's it. 6.
Okay. The principal salary changes, again, you guys have already voted on that. We have informed the principals of their new pay for next year. The equipment,
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the administrator's recommendation to purchase the equipment for security purposes.
Is there a second?
Well, we got a little,
Yeah,
Something
go
happened
ahead. We
here.
gotta get a second. I'll second it.
Oh, okay.
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 Okay, so now we're in discussion. Madam Chair.
let me do one thing right quick.
Of course.
Can I put you on the spot?
Sure.
What would be your recommendation on this, financially wise?
Well, you really have two thoughts.
Uh-huh.
One is we have the sales tax money. This is absolutely what it's for. So purchasing it outright, we use the sales tax money in an appropriate way, and we get it there. The train of thought of doing the lease of the $944,000 is that you put that in the budget for 4 years. After 4 years, a portion of that comes out, but the high school leases are gonna come on about that time, because we're gonna have to do something with them, and the money's already there. So it's a matter of, do you wanna go ahead and plan for the future? Or do we wanna cross that bridge when we get there? I mean, it's really just,
Okay.
yes, sir.
I have a question, maybe, I'm not sure, we're prepared to answer it, but is there a benefit to leasing it as far as maintenance on it, or like warranty that we know of right now that could be spoken to now? Or do you have some recommendation?
Mr. Thompson, the only thing I would say is if the money's not allocated in the general fund so that we know it's there, to Ms. Heard's point, if we don't cross this bridge when the lease runs out and the warranty runs out, then we're gonna have outdated equipment in the school that I don't think anybody would want, and we just have to deal with that later. Whereas if you're leasing, you can refresh that technology anytime that technology, the life of it ends, and there's no risk of being out of warranty and things like that.
So what's your suggestion? What's your recommendation then?
The lease.
I always like to lease, because you know you've got new equipment, it's under warranty,
And it-
support's there.
And I assume being technology, it's always gonna change.
Right, so it does. These systems.
Okay.
Have these systems changed from the ones we bought 4 years ago?
They have already.
Okay.
And
But
just,
that's the-
just so it's very transparent for everybody in the room, this is our very best estimate based on Lieutenant Pillar reaching out to the company. Obviously, if this passes, we're gonna have to bid this out. It's big dollars, so it'll have to go through the bidding process, so the amounts could change slightly, so hopefully slightly, maybe
More or
maybe
less.
less.
More or less.
More or less, if that is, okay, making sure
This
that
is my
I-
virtue, I'm sorry,
No,
Ms.
no, I
Hurd,
just
go
want to
ahead.
make sure everybody knew that this number could be tweaked a little bit, or a lot, once we put it out for bid.
Just by virtue of the name of the company and the equipment would denote that it's going to constantly change because it's evolved. And each time somebody passes through, it learns, right? Okay, so it's going to change regardless. So let's keep that in mind.
Are we ready to vote?
So the vote is, I mean, the motion is to keep it just like it is,
Like it's presented now.
9:44.
Just like it's
6 seconds.
Switch it
presented.
back for us.
Yes,
please,
ma'am,
to
I
the
sure
other
will.
one.
Let
Thank
me,
you so much.
okay, yes, I do have that number on the
No.
other page. There you
The
go.
nine-
Back on your page.
That is leasing. That, what you're seeing
So,
right now is
so
the
you,
amount for leasing.
I kind of hear you and Wes feel like that's kind of maybe the best way to go. I mean, I know it's a gamble either way.
It just puts it in the budget.
Okay.
For future years, if something, but I mean, that may not be the pleasure of the board. I mean,
Right.
yes, it's, you know, $2
When you
million
vote-
dollars.
Per year for the next 4 years. So,
Oh,
It'll
that
be there.
944 is going in the budget from now on until you guys take it out.
But
So
that's
now,
salary,
let me ask
that's
this.
personnel and.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, that is 4 Defender Service personnel working one of the 2 systems. So as Mr. Grant said, it's a dual lane system and a single lane system at each middle school. And that is a security person, an armed security person working one of those places. It's gonna have to be a staff member working the other place.
Okay. In leasing this equipment, the purchase of the updates is going to have to be made each year, right?
I believe it's good for 4 years, so they'll cover everything. Our lease payment stays the same for 4 years, and they're covering everything for that 4-year lease on anything.
Right.
maintenance or
But if we buy it outright, then each time it updates, we're going to have to purchase that from somewhere, correct?
We are, even if we buy it outright, we have to buy the subscription that goes along with it. So that part of the other number where I had the reoccurring cost,
Right.
that had the subscription, so that would have the maintenance and the computer updates that it have to do. So
Okay.
I think we're covered either way.
Okay. So now as it relates to tariffs and purchasing things that are not made here, we're not going to have that problem as it relates to buying it outright.
Promise that,
So that's my question.
to be honest.
So,
They don't know.
But to
No, but-
lease, we have to do a 4-year lease? We have to agree to a 4-year lease?
I think those are negotiable, the terms are negotiable.
Okay, thank you.
This is what we quoted.
Thank you.
okay.
so this is just putting the money into the budget. It's not purchasing the equipment.
Right.
We'll vote on that as it gets here.
Okay.
So we had a motion, we had a second, are we ready to vote?
No, we have not had a motion.
Discussion.
Yes, we did. And a
We
second.
had all that in a second, and then we started discussing.
I stand corrected.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, can y'all tell me the motion again?
I think that.
I didn't hear
As-
that.
Motion
Motion was
to accept
as
the
the lease.
recommendation.
As a lease, yes.
a lease.
I think
Okay.
listening to y'all, I think
See, I
that's.
missed that.
I do too.
Well, you better start paying attention.
Yes,
And-
ma'am,
and this
Madam
would
Chair.
be in place for next school year.
Mr. Grant, can we get it done by next school year?
You going to ISS.
We certainly try.
Okay, I'm just asking, just out of curiosity.
Until we actually bid it and know for sure.
You got that, okay, fine.
That's the plan.
Okay,
That's what we're aiming for.
we'll have sometime next school year.
So call for the vote.
Well, I think even the ones we got now, we didn't get till the spring. Okay.
Okay, we've been motion second, so we ready to vote,
Unanimous.
you know.
All right, the next item there would be the sick leave payout. This was $65 a day, and we can look at other dollar amounts if you choose a different dollar amount.
Please take out the .00.
Yes, I can do that. Okay.
Madam Chair,
Thank you.
I make the motion that we accept the sick leave payout at $65 a day for those days over 90, estimating at $206,668.
Second.
It's been motion and properly second. Is there discussion? Cause I thought we was just gonna discuss that again. Oh, God.
I think it's a good incentive for the teachers
I
to
think
work.
it is, first, I really do.
Do you know how much they would get after the
$65.
taxes and?
No, taxes, it just depends on each person.
Depends on their days.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, you're gonna have, they're gonna have to have FICA withheld from it, 7.65%. And then it'll depend, because they will have federal and state withholdings withheld as well. So if somebody has, single or married at a higher single rate, or single, they'll have more than somebody that's married with 3 or 4 dependents. So I try to say you're gonna have about 26 to 30% taken out. Not everybody will. Some would be some would be less than that. Some may only have 16%, but on average, it's about 25% that comes out for taxes.
Is that what you said, the
Is
600
Alright.
this recommendation made by
They had
you?
10 days.
Thank you.
65.
Now,
Do you think 65's enough?
I do have a question. Do we have employees that make less than $65 a day in any position?
Do we have any
Yeah.
employees that make less than that? Yes, our teacher assistants do.
Substitutes make them less than that.
Substitutes
Well,
are employees.
substitutes aren't
Oh, they're
employees.
not?
Mm-mm.
No, we
would
should
be
not
a
have anybody making less than 60.
Do we have anybody
They're not
close?
employees
No.
now.
No, not ours. We had a ESS.
That would mean they made $8.60. We don't have anybody making
We paid them and
$8.60.
they paid us.
So,
what about
we have a motion and a second.
So they don't get state.
We're in discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Did we get a vote?
No, we're in
We
discussion.
need
Just a
to-
moment, Madam Chair.
Oh, you're in discussion, okay, you still discussion.
I make a motion, we approve the sick leave payout.
We've already got a motion and a second.
Second.
Are they the
We're just waiting
Any more
for that.
discussion?
They call for the vote, Madam Chair.
All right.
We're
We're
good?
calling for a
We're good.
vote.
Yep.
All in favor?
Might as
All
well.
the way?
So the first payout will be June of 2026.
Oh, they won't get it this year.
We can, we haven't communicated that to staff, but if that's the pleasure of the board, if
Oh,
y'all
no,
wanna
no,
say
don't wanna talk about
surprise,
it no more.
we're gonna pay it this year, I'm sure they would take it.
That'd
Tell
be
them we can stay
nice.
one more year.
I mean,
About $650.
it's pleasure of the board. We can do, I mean, that's something that we can easily do if that's something that you wanna do. It's an unbudgeted item, but, investment income is coming in well. It's
We're
up to-
fine.
We wait until then for what reason? What's the reason that it's not paid till June?
Because they
They
can,
wouldn't
they
have
can,
accumulated it?
yeah, they
till
can
then?
use all their time through June
Thank
30th.
you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
So we would not pay it out until July, till we saw all the way up through June 30th.
Ms. Hurd, I kind of like the figures starting in 26, so I'm fine with that, unless there's some difference.
I don't know that we need to vote since we have a retiring employee.
No.
Just not to replace that. Community liaison,
My recommendation is to keep that position.
okay.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation to keep that position and dismiss that discussion with prejudice.
I second
It's been properly second, it's been made a motion and second. Do we have discussion?
What about the freezing of the pay though?
Wasn't in the motion.
Oh.
That wasn't in the motion. So let's go ahead and vote.
What are we voting? We're voting for,
For the employee to stay there, to keep him there, keep whatever's there.
yeah.
I
So
didn't
we
count,
have
I mean,
1, 2, let's,
1, 2, 3,
Troy.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Community liaison.
Okay, 7.
All right, thank you.
All opposed?
all
All
opposed?
opposed, 2. 3.
3.
3.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Assistant superintendents,
It's my recommendation to keep the assistant superintendent pay scale as is.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation to keep the assistant superintendent's pay as is and dismiss the discussion with prejudice.
I second.
Been properly, motion and second. Can we get a vote? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2,
All
3,
opposed?
4, 5, 6. All opposed? That's good, then I can see that, okay.
2.
7, so 2.
okay, the assistance increase of $3 per hour on the current assistant's salary schedule.
Madam Chair, I make a motion, we approve $3 assistant increase to the teaching assistant salary schedule.
Second.
It's been properly, is there a discussion? It's been a motion and a second. Could I get a vote? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 opposed.
Two.
Two opposed. Oh, two opposed.
Right, so just a few more and we will be good. We currently have the elementary alternative class in place that started in January. But we can vote on that to make sure that you guys wanna add that to the budget.
Ms. Hurd, can you scroll back up just for a
Sure.
second so I
Yes,
can
sir.
see some? Thank you. All right, I'm done. Thank you.
So, elementary alternative class,
Yes, sir.
is that like a ABC class?
That is a class for elementary students that need to go down to the CF Reams for a little while before they're transitioned back to their elementary class. We started it in January. We have a teacher and an assistant currently running that program at CF Reams.
That's for discipline.
Yes, ma'am.
How many students attend?
10,
Right now, we have 4. We've gone up to 8, but right now we have
and we have a max of 10.
4.
I make a motion that we budget this particular item based on the recommendations.
Second.
It's been properly a motion and a second. Could I get a discussion?
You're on the item, the elementary alternative,
Yes.
or the
Yes.
ML teacher? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Can I
thank you.
get a vote? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Unanimous.
All right, and then the next one is the addition of a multilingual teacher. And again, this is an estimated number. If we hire somebody with 28 years, this will be too low. If we hire somebody with a master's in 1 year, this will be too high, but this is kind of the estimate that we typically use during budgeting time.
Madam Chair, seeing the need that we have 42 languages spoken in our district, I make a motion that we accept the recommendation for this particular position.
Second,
Second.
second. Is there any discussion? Could I get a vote? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, we will keep on moving. We will skip down to the extra security at events. And again, this is just looking at as we talked about earlier, anytime we have any extra security, it's $50 an hour. City makes us do a minimum of 3 hours. The county has that in their contract, but they typically work with us if an event gets canceled or something, that they may not charge us for the full 3 hours. And then this was just looking at what we currently have paid throughout the year.
Yeah.
As you guys know, we have increased our security at all of our athletic events,
I'm
as
sorry.
well as some lighting and some other things as well.
Can I cut you off?
Sure.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the extra security. Anything about security, I'm for.
Second.
It's been properly made a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? My only discussion is that I do agree with this and that you need them at the events.
Yes.
Can I get a vote?
Unanimous.
All 9.
Okay. Next is the mentoring program for $15,000 to continue the program as it
Make a
is this
motion, we
year.
accept as presented.
Second.
It's been properly second, and, do we need a discussion? Vote. 9.
Thank you very much. The next one is a choice of the board. Dr. Kelly's recommendation was to adjust the teacher salary schedule by $2,000 with the cost of $2.2 million.
I'll make a motion, we adjust the teacher's salary as presented by, as recommended by Dr. Kelly.
Second.
Been properly second. Can I get a vote? 9, I hope. I can't see it.
That's it.
All right, the next options here would be for non-teachers. You can do an increase of 1%, 2%, or 3%, or anything else that you guys may choose, but here are the numbers. Dr. Kelly's recommendation was a 2% increase for non-teaching staff.
I make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation for non-teaching staff at 2%.
I'll second.
Been properly second that we do this. Is there any discussion? Let's vote.
Do they still get some other increase or just this one?
Ms. Burris, that
A
would be
step.
if the next line item, the non-teacher step, that would be the only other option that they would have.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Okay, and then just as we were speaking, as we talked about earlier, the teacher step is mandated. This is the cost for the non-teacher step, for staff.
Madam Chair, seeing that we don't have to vote on something that's mandated.
The teacher one we didn't, this one we would need.
Okay.
For non-teachers.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we accept the non-teacher step increase.
Second.
It's been properly second that we do that. No discussion. Can I get a hand? Gotta vote on it. You counting, baby, out there.
Yes, that's all.
2 more items and we are good. The $4 increase for our HVAC technician.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the $4 increase as recommended by superintendent.
I'll second it.
It's second, properly second. No discussion. Could I get a hand? 9.
Okay, thank you very much. And then we'll have the utility increase from Duke Energy, the maintenance of effort that's required, the contracted services, and the final thing will be the Renaissance Academy capital projects change.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the recommendations for the Renaissance Academy Capital Projects Challenge.
I'll second.
It's second. Can I get a vote? No discussion. Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure.
I'm opposed.
All opposed?
All opposed? Oh, one opposed.
And I apologize, I don't know how, but if you look on your sheets there, the lunch monitors are $217,800, but in probably hidden blanks or somewhere, I have deleted that off. But that would be, we'll just stick it right here so you guys see it. It would be the lunch monitor savings,
Oh, that's a saving. 'Cause I thought they
and that
had
was the
cut them out.
$217,800. So we have a balanced budget.
Is that everything, Ms. Hurd?
Yes, sir. I will present very briefly to you guys next week unless additional information comes to you. And just so you all know, as we promised, if obviously additional information probably will come to us between May 13th and when we meet in June. And so we will either have Dr. Kelly send that out to you, or we can talk about it at the public hearing. But after you guys vote on Tuesday evening, then we will go ahead and put the public hearing information out in the
Wait.
media.
Well, we gotta vote again.
We can vote now, right?
You can. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either,
Vote
but.
for what now?
Vote for this.
Is your burden of notification met as far as?
Will we be, if we wait until Tuesday, will we have it in by the time it was required for us to do?
Yes.
I'm good for waiting.
I don't know. Yeah. I thought we were still.
What's next?
Adjournment. Yeah.
Motion to adjourn, Madam Chair.
Second.
We have been moved and,
All in favor?
all in favor of it.
We're good.
I think that needs to be
Troy, you didn't vote to adjourn.
That's it, that needs to be.
On transportation up there, I mean, I have,
I'd like to
y'all
thank
gonna
my
take.
fellow Red Dragon and fellow Black